Hey guys, welcome back. Tonight, I don't know if you've heard, earlier in the day, one of my heroes as a child passed away, and that was Burt Reynolds. So tonight, I kind of wanted to just talk about maybe a little bit of what he meant to me. You can go on any news site and find out the facts of his life. I'll go over a little bit of them here, but I wanted to talk about how it affected me personally. I'm probably showing my age here a little bit because a lot of the viewership that I have is not going to know who Burt Reynolds was. From 1978 to 1982, he was the highest box office draw there was, period, for 5 years straight. And we're talking in a time that is Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back. This guy was the draw during that time. He actually got his start back in the late 50s. He was a college football star at Florida State until a knee injury ended his career. And then he took off to Hollywood and acted in a bunch of westerns and some pretty famous shows like Alfred Hitchcock Presents, Perry Mason, even The Twilight Zone. But his first big role came on a hit series called Gunsmoke. And this still is, one of my dad's favorite series of all time. And it ran for 20 years, but from 62 to 65, he had a part on there as Quint. It really kind of put his face out there a little bit more. He was the lead character in the series Hawk. It was a couple years after that. So, I mean, he started to gather some momentum from that. But his breakout performance came in 1972 in Deliverance. He played the Macho Man, Lewis Medlock in that, and if you haven't seen Deliverance, I don't know how to recommend that. It's a tough movie to watch, but it's one of those movies like Citizen Kane. You're supposed to watch it, but it had an amazing performance in. He's in with John Voight. It really kind of propelled his career through the 70s. He then went on to star in The Longest Yard as Paul Crewe, football player turned convict, and he basically puts together a prison team to play the guards. But after that, he came across probably his biggest role ever, which was Smokey and the Bandit. He played the Bandit, and this is where I really started to almost idolize Burt Reynolds. When Smokey the Bandit came out, I was 2 years old, but I didn't catch on to it till a couple years later, after Smokey the Bandit 2, Smokey the Bandit 3 came out. And then he also had Cannonball Run 2. I mean, a lot of these movies during that time were car chase scenes and everything like that. So when I was a little kid, that was huge for me. My TV show was Dukes of Hazzard. Anything that had the car jumps and the car chases and everything, I was all about it. Burt, to me, kind of epitomized a man, a macho man, a suave man. He was, as a little kid, we wanted to be Burt Reynolds. We wanted to be the Bandit. You know, it was always a toss-up when we were playing on our bikes, if we were Bandit's Trans Am or if we were the General Lee. It fit into that. My friends and everything about that was what we idolized at that time. And so we idolized Burt Reynolds along with it. But after that run in the late 70s, early 80s, his movies kind of tended to drown off. He actually made a little comeback in the series Evening Shade. He won a Emmy for it in 1991, and then he played in several movies. I mean, he continued to work all the way up until his death, because he was actually scheduled to be in a Quentin Tarantino movie with Leonardo DiCaprio that was coming out. But his probably biggest highlight coming back was 1997's Boogie Nights. He played a pornographic film director, and it ended up winning him a Golden Globe for his performance, and he also got an Oscar nomination. He played kind of bringing back that whole love I had for him in the movie remake of Dukes of Hazzard. He ended up playing Boss Hogg. So it was kind of this weird thing that how they meshed all together. So I'm a little sad tonight when you have those heroes that you had as a kid that pass away. That's when it's a little tough. At that point, they kind of seem invincible. They seem bigger than life. And the Bandit was totally that for me. And JJ in Cannonball Run was that kind of guy. He was just, Burt Reynolds seemed bigger to life. And to have something that can take him down like a heart attack. It was one of those things. It's like, we're all mortal. We're all going to die at some point, and that have to deal with your mortality at that point, and that's something you got to think about. But I hope this wasn't too depressing. But I really wanted to tell you what Burt meant to me. I mean, it was something that I'll never forget, and I'll always think of him about. And guys, I kid you not, I literally watched Smokey and the Bandit last weekend. I mean, this was on Labor Day weekend. I watched Smokey and the Bandit, and I had watched Smokey and the Bandit 2 a couple weeks before that. So I mean, it's one of those things. I still, they're campy now. They're fun, but they're, you know, I'm still a movie I watched recently. So, anyway, so thanks a lot, Burt, for everything you meant to me and millions upon millions of kids and fans that about my age that, you know, we're all about wanting to be Burt Reynolds. I think if we could be half the man you were, that would be amazing. So in the comments below tonight, for the extra 10 entries into the contest, tell me what Burt Reynolds meant to you. And I think I'm just going to leave it at that tonight. So I really appreciate y'all listening to me get this out and just kind of put my feelings out there about this. But tonight, I've been Richard Howk, and I'm still Richard Howk. You have a good night.